Good afternoon, and thank you for joining our WNCT Now early afternoon news update. I'm Kelsey O'Donnell, broadcasting to you live today from our digital studio with some of Thursday's top news headlines. Now, today has already been a busy day right here in our news department. We're tracking multiple crimes across the East as we speak. In Greenville, police are investigating a shooting at an apartment complex that killed one person and hurt two others. Officers were called to a shooting in the Paramount complex near Greenville Boulevard and Highway 264 around 4:30 this morning. That is where they found one victim's body. The two people hurt were taken to Vidant Medical Center with non-life-threatening injuries. Officers tell us two people are being held by police for questioning while they investigate. Meanwhile, Winterville police are asking for help finding a woman who may be tied to a $10,000 theft case. Officers say Brianna Cannon is wanted for a Wednesday incident at Fred's Food Club on Winterville Parkway. They say $9,960 was taken from a customer buying cigarettes. Cannon was last seen leaving the store in a gold Toyota Avalon. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Winterville Police Department or the Pitt Greenville Crime Stoppers. And police in Duplin County are awaiting an autopsy to identify a man found dead in a creek and what killed him. Kenansville police found the body around 6:30 last night in Grove Creek. That's just off Highway 11 near Gooding-Stokes Road. Now, police say they won't know if there is foul play in this case until they get their autopsy results. Now, turning now to weather, it's finally starting to look and feel like fall as we head into November. Our first alert meteorologist, Alex Waselenko, joins us with what we can expect with weather patterns right here in eastern North Carolina. Alex, take it away.
Happy Little Friday, everybody. I'm your First Alert meteorologist, Alex Waselenko, reporting from the First Alert Weather Center on what has been an active day so far, especially when you include those windy conditions and also cloudy skies that are building in quite thick. We do have a First Alert weather day in effect now through early Friday morning as a leftover circulation from Zeta zooms on by the Carolinas with those windy conditions, coastal alerts, and also the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms. One of those alerts that's in effect for everybody in eastern North Carolina, wind advisories and high wind warnings. That's going to mean a windy afternoon of weather featuring winds gusting upwards of 45 to 50 plus miles per hour. That may lead to some power outage probabilities across eastern North Carolina. There is a high probability of isolated power outages with those winds in place this afternoon. Also, we have to keep in mind that with that rainfall moving in overnight and those winds remaining persistent, the rainfall could loosen up some roots and those winds could topple some trees. So that power outage probability is going to remain high not only this afternoon but through the overnight. Those winds are starting to really kick in across eastern North Carolina this afternoon, and they will continue through the evening and overnight. That'll offer up some lift in the atmosphere, getting those strong to severe thunderstorms going after midnight. By early Friday morning, though, the storm is clearing the coast, and it is giving way to some clearing skies for that morning commute into school and work, with maybe an outside chance of a stray shower or sprinkle. We will continue with some brisk northerly winds during the day Friday, averaging 15 to 30 miles per hour. It's going to enter into the forecast a cool end to the work week. Highs on Friday will only top out in the middle 60s for many folks. By the day Saturday, more clouds along the coast, more sunshine inland, but in between, you'll still find those breezy north winds helping to keep things chilly. Again, highs on Saturday only topping out in the lower to middle 60s. Forecast rainfall totals out of the system today through the overnight will drop anywhere between a half an inch to upwards of an inch or more of rain. There are a lot of goose eggs on that board for the forecast rainfall totals, but these numbers continue to change, so do be sure to stay up to date on that latest forecast. Highs today will top out in the 70s and 80s. Rain, wind, and scattered thunderstorms will be likely as those winds could gust upwards of 50 miles per hour or stronger. Your boating forecast today showing 7 to 11 foot seas for the coast, 3 to 5 foot seas for the sounds, and very rough lakes and rivers. There's a plethora of coastal weather alerts to discuss today too, including a gale warning, high surf advisory, small craft advisory, coastal flood advisory, and a low water advisory. A coastal flood advisory is probably the most important out of the bunch, as minor flooding will be likely from the Finger Counties through the Outer Banks and all the way down to the Crystal Coast. Overnight, lows will bottom out in the 50s and 60s. Rain, wind, and those severe storms will continue in eastern North Carolina. Our first alert weather day, though, will expire rather quickly Friday morning, giving way to those clearing conditions for the afternoon, much drier weather, and cooler temperatures for both inland and coastal communities. We will top out in the 60s and low 70s Friday afternoon as we head for an even chillier day on Halloween. Halloween will be partly sunny with highs in the mid-60s, but those trick-or-treat times for the evening and overnight, they're going to be even colder in the 40s and low 50s. Make it a great rest of your happy little Friday. I'm your first alert meteorologist, Alex Waselenko.
Well, not so fall-like weathers for today, but hey, 80 degrees at the end of October, I'll take it. Thank you, Alex, so much. Right now, voter turnout is reaching record numbers in North Carolina, and our state, if you haven't heard, is one of the major battlegrounds in this year's election. So far, almost 855,000 voters have turned in their absentee ballots. And to that, 3 million people who've cast ballots in person at early voting sites. All of that equals 53% voter turnout with just 5 days to go before Election Day.
Making us feel like our work is important and making sure that the voters are actually coming in, are safe, and are having a good environment here to vote.
Polls currently show former Vice President Joe Biden with a slim lead over President Donald Trump in North Carolina. And in case you missed it, over the weekend, the offshore powerboat racing returned here to Morehead City, but this time on a much larger stage, the World Championship. Now, racers from around the world traveled in for one last competition race of the season. If you did not get a chance to catch the highlights on our sportscast or online, you can go ahead and take a look at some of the sights and sounds right here. All right, I don't want to spoil all the fun. You can catch the full video online at WNCT.com under our online original page, as well as the full list of 2020 World Champions. Now, this will wrap up our WNCT Now digital news update for this early afternoon on Thursday, October 29th. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll have more news coming up for you at 4 p.m.